Welcome into the PFF 50, brought to you by thru. We know you love football, and at PFF, we deliver insights you won't get anywhere else. And if you love beer, you need to check out thru. They deliver the world's best and hardest to find craft beers right to your doorstep. You choose how much, how often, and what style. Just go to thru.com and get $10 of beer money after you spend your first $25 with the promo code PFF50. All right, Sam, let's explain to everybody what the PFF 50 actually is. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so we have the PFF Top 101. That's the 101 best players of the season that just passed. But the PFF 50 is the best 50 players in football heading into the 2019 season. So forget about position value. It's not just a list of quarterbacks at the top. It's not the most important players in their respective positions throughout the league. It is the best players in football heading into this season.
So it doesn't matter about position, so we'll have plenty of offensive linemen, even running backs, on the list, and it's all about looking forward. So let's get into it, starting with number 50 on the PFF 50. It's Shaq Mason, guard from the New England Patriots, a guy who came out of Georgia Tech as a mauling run blocker, and that's what we've seen in the NFL. Number 1 run block grade last year, but he's improved as a pass protector. Only 16 pressures. He has truly gotten better every single season. A perfect fit for what the Patriots like to do in their offensive scheme, and that mauling run blocking guard. Shaq Mason comes in at number 50.
Yeah, he's even learned to pass block a little bit in the NFL from that triple option system at Georgia Tech. I like this. The start of the list is all about the run game, and now we've got another guy who specializes in the run game, but on the other side of the ball, Damon Snacks Harrison is the best run defending force in all of football, regardless of position, and honestly, I don't think it's particularly close to the next guy. Always leads the league in run stops when it comes to interior defensive linemen, consistently at a different level to anybody else. Run stop percentage might as well be renamed the Damon Snacks Harrison statistic.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, 5 straight seasons now, he's led the league in run stop percentage among defensive linemen. So he is an absolute force, and it's now 2 run specialists to start the PFF 50.
Well, let's stay in the trenches because number 48 is offensive tackle Mitchell Schwartz. He's a right tackle. Like we said, all positions created equal. Right tackles are just as important as left tackles, and Schwartz had a very difficult job last year. That's why he earned our Offensive Lineman of the Year in 2018. Only gave up 21 pressures despite all those times that Kansas City dropped back to pass. Patrick Mahomes had that monster season. He likes to hold the ball, throw the ball downfield. Schwartz also facing a tough slate of pass rushers, so only giving up 21 pressures is fantastic. He had the number 8 pass blocking grade in the entire NFL, and year over year, always a consistent top performer among right tackles.
Number 47, we've got another of the 2018 PFF awards winners. Mitchell Schwartz won our Best Offensive Lineman of the Year. Eddie Jackson won our Best Coverage Player of the Year award. We were down there in Florida at the Pro Bowl to hand him his fancy PFF Crystal Award in person. So Eddie Jackson now officially a friend of the channel, friend of the show. And he was absolutely phenomenal for the Bears last season. Had the best coverage grade in all of football, regardless of position, up there in the 90s. Absolutely incredible number. Had 14 combined pass breakups or interceptions. Again, a huge number. Was a real force playing the ball for the Bears in their secondary, and well deserves his place on the PFF 50.
Yeah, big time playmaker last year. Let's go on to number 46. It's Trey Flowers, formerly of the New England Patriots, now of the Detroit Lions. Just signed a monster free agent contract, and rightfully so. That 89.7 overall grade was number 6 in the NFL last year, and he's one of the best all-around defensive ends. 78 pressures, that's a huge number, but he was also the number 8 graded edge defender against the run, and the Patriots did a great job of moving him around the defensive formation, so expect Matt Patricia and the Detroit Lions to do the same thing, because he can rush from the interior, can rush from the edge, plays with power. So Trey Flowers, a fantastic career so far, and he's gotten better every single year. That's why he's in the top 50.
Absolutely. Number 45, we've got Ryan Ramczyk, one of the best right tackles in the game. Definitely, I think, the best run-blocking right tackle in the game. And the thing that jumps off the page when you're talking about Ramczyk really is consistency. His grades over the last couple of years, Steve, 81.2, then 81.3. So almost identical year to year, and almost all of those monster New Orleans Saints runs you see, whether it's Alvin Kamara, whether it's Mark Ingram before he left town, they go off right tackle. They go behind Ryan Ramczyk's blocks, whether it's crushing a defensive end on the edge or whether it's getting to the second level and burying linebackers into the turf. Ryan Ramczyk, a consistent force in that New Orleans running game.
A lot of offensive linemen really struggle transitioning from college. He has been one of the best at just being good right away early in his career. Let's move on to number 44. It's Desmond King of the Los Angeles Chargers. Last year's 88.2 grade was number 3 among all cornerbacks, and he does his work from the slot. A perfect fit for what they like to do in that Chargers scheme. It's zone heavy, and he just doesn't allow a lot of big plays. He makes the tackles in front of him, and he makes some big plays. 3 interceptions, 6 pass breakups last year, had a pick 6. Desmond King has been fantastic his first few years in the league, and that carried over exactly what he did at Iowa. So every time PFF has graded Desmond King, it's been pretty good, whether in college or at the NFL level.
Now, the big thing this offseason in the analytics community, Steve, has been about how running backs just don't matter. They're replaceable, they're not valuable, it's not relevant to winning games, but that doesn't take into account just how good these players are. And the PFF 50 is all about how good you are, not about how valuable your position is or how replaceable you are. So Saquon Barkley, coming off his rookie season, deserves his place on the PFF 50. He was absolutely incredible year one, exactly the kind of player he was billed as a prospect. Led the NFL in terms of broken tackles, 71 between carries and receptions, and also led the league in breakaway percentage. So all those big plays we saw at Penn State of him just making taking the ball to the house, scoring touchdowns, they translated immediately into his life as a pro. Well deserves his spot on the PFF 50, even if he's a running back.
Even running backs, we'll even let them on the list. Let's get to number 42, one of my favorite safeties in the entire NFL, Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans, a true free safety who can make plays all over the field. 12 interceptions and 9 pass breakups over the last 2 years. That's one of the best just playmaking numbers in the NFL. 88.4 grade last year was number 8. We liked him a little bit coming out of Middle Tennessee State, and he's even exceeded our expectations, which were already pretty high. So Byard makes the top 50 because he's one of the best pure playmakers on the back end for the Titans.
Rounding out this first 10 of the PFF 50, another PFF favorite. We got Brandon Graham. Now, he may never get those 10-sack seasons, Steve. You know that more than anybody.
I lost a bet.
Yeah, but what Brandon Graham does do is get you a ton of pressure all the time, regardless of how you line him up, regardless of what scheme you're playing. He just consistently pressures the quarterback, and that is extremely valuable. We've worked out how valuable that is. Typically, pressure will reduce a quarterback's passer rating 30 to 35 points. So even if Brandon Graham does struggle sometimes to finish those sacks, convert them into the most valuable plays when it comes to pass rusher, rushing the passer and getting that much pressure that he consistently does is hugely valuable. He's now made 5 appearances in the PFF Top 101, and it wouldn't shock me to see him make a 6 next year.
Yeah, just consistent every single year. So there you have it. It's 41 through 50 in the PFF 50. Stick with us as we break down the entire list. It's the PFF 50 brought to you by thru.